Good afternoon. My name is Dorothea. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And well, today I intended to talk about Judaism, but I changed my mind because I announced in one of my videos that I later would introduce the Hindu mystics, some of the Hindu mystics, and I didn't do that. So before on Monday I start Judaism. Today I like to go into some mystics, some important mystics of Hinduism. Okay, so let us start. Today we start with Rama Krishna. He was one of the most prominent religious figures of India during the 19th century. He was a mystic and a yogi, and his legacy did not end with his death in 1886 because Vivekananda carried on his teachings and philosophy to the world through the Rama Krishna mission. But first, let us talk now about Rama Krishna, okay? Rama Krishna worshipped the goddess Kali and also the god Rama. He learned the nuances of tantric sadhana, which is a worship or spiritual practice. He learned the tantric ways from Bhairavi Pramani, a female sage. Under her guidance, Ramakrishna completed all 64 sadhanas of tantras, even the most demanding ones of them, and he also learned Kundalini yoga from Bhairavi. Ramakrishna was an exceptional human being. To get rid of the thought that he belonged to a higher Brahmanical caste, he began to eat food cooked by the Shudras or lower caste. He is also said to have embraced his skeptics, and he won them over with his simplistic charm and unselfish love. Ramakrishna was born into a poor Brahmin family in the Bengal state in 1836. He had little formal schooling and he spoke neither English nor Sanskrit. He only spoke Bengali. In 1852, poverty forced Ramakrishna to go to Calcutta, which now is called Kolkata, where he became a priest in a temple dedicated to the goddess Kali. Ramakrishna is a very interesting person. When he started to worship the goddess Kali, he prayed for a vision of Kali Ma, which means Kali the mother, whom he worshipped as the supreme manifestation of God. He is said to have wept for hours in his attempt to implore the Divine Mother to reveal herself to him. When this did not happen, Ramakrishna sank into deep despair. It went so far that he even was on the verge of suicide. When he was overwhelmed by an ocean of blissful light that he attributed to the goddess Kali. Ramakrishna described the visions of Kali as a limitless, infinite, effulgent ocean of spirit. Soon after his first vision, Ramakrishna commenced on a series of sadhanas, which are austere practices. So he commenced on various mystical traditions, such as Bengali Vaishnavism, Shakta Tantrism, Advaita Vedanta, Islamic Sufism, and even Roman Catholicism. Rama Krishna had even a vision of the great yogi Jesus, embracing him and then disappearing into his body. After each of these santanas, Ramakrishna claimed to have experienced the supreme power, that power of Brahman, or ultimate reality of the universe. Later in his life, Ramakrishna became famous for his parables about the ultimate unity of the different religious traditions in this formless Vedantic Brahman. When you see God in everything and everyone, he believed that this would lead a person to one and the same goal. He said the Hindus draw out the liquid and they call it yal. The Muslims draw out the liquid and they call it pani. The Christians throw out the liquid and call it water, but the substance is always the same in all three examples. This message, that all religions lead to the same end, was a powerful one at the time, because British missionaries and colonial authorities had for almost a century criticized Hinduism on its social, religious, and ethical teachings. Many Hindus felt liberated because now all religions could be seen as just taking a different path, but then to discover the same divine force. Ramakrishna had a small group of disciples, most of them Western educated people. They were drawn to him because his message appealed to them, and also because Ramakrishna had this special charisma as a guru and as an ecstatic mystic. Right about this time, Calcutta newspapers referred to him as the Hindu saint or as the Paramahamsa, which is a religious title of respect and honor. After Ramakrishna's death, his message was disseminated through his texts, such as the 5-volume Bengali classic, the Sri Ramakrishna Kasamrita, and the Nectar speech of the Twice Blessed. Ramakrishna, best known to English readers as the Gospel of Ramakrishna, which is based on conversations with Ramakrishna during the time from 1882 to 1886. Ramakrishna's disciple and successor, Narendranath Datta, became the world-traveling Swami Vivekananda, who helped to establish the Ramakrishna order, whose teachings, texts, and rituals identify Ramakrishna as a new avatar of God. The Ramakrishna order also helped to spread Hindu ideas and practices in the West, particularly in the United States. Sarada Devi, also called Holy Mother, Sri Sarada Devi, was a Hindu religious teacher and a wife and spiritual consort of the Indian saint Ramakrishna. Her story is very interesting because Sarada was married to Rama Krishna at age 5 in an arranged wedding. Because Rama Krishna, who was 17 years older than Sarada Devi, and also because he had taken a vow of celibacy, this marriage later, when Sarada would have been old enough to become the wife of him, this marriage was never consummated. When Sarada Devi was 16 years old, she joined her husband in Dakshineshwar, Bengal, where Rama Krishna was a temple priest. 3 years later, Rama Krishna declared that his young wife, whom he now called Sarada Devi, was the avatar of the Divine Mother of the universe. After Rama Krishna had died, Sarada Devi gained acclaim as a saint in her own right. Pilgrimages, meditation and sadhanas, and the ministering of young disciples of Rama Krishna, who now were led by Swami Vivekananda, was what she did from then on. So she worked too in the temple, doing her own teachings to the young people, okay? The successor of Rama Krishna, Swami Vivekananda, was a very inspiring man and a great social reformer. His born name was Narendranath Datta, and he was not only a Hindu monk, but a great philosopher. He was a chief disciple of Rama Krishna, this great Indian mystic of the 19th century. Swami Vivekananda was influenced by Western esotericism and the key figure in introducing Indian darsanas, which are teachings and practices of Vedanta and yoga, to the Western world. So the Indian darsanas became famous or taught by Swami Vivekananda, okay? He is also credited with raising interfaith awareness, bringing Hinduism to the status of a major world religion during the late 19th century. He was also a major force regarding Hindu reform movements in India. Vivekananda founded the Rama Krishna Mass and the Rama Krishna Mission. He might be best known for his speech given at the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago in 1893. When he gave his speech in Chicago, he started, "Sisters and Brothers of America." In India, Vivekananda's birthday is celebrated as a National Youth Day, which is celebrated January the 12th. Now we come to Ramana Maharashi, a Hindu sage who promoted self-inquiry and bhakti, meaning devotion, as the main path to remove ignorance and achieve self-awareness. Devotees consider Sri Ramana Maharshi, who died in 1950, to have been Jivan Mukti, or self-realized, liberated human being. At age 16, Ramana Maharshi had a death experience where he became aware of the current or force which he recognized as his true I or self, and which he later identified with the personal God or Ishvara, that is Shiva. Later he described that state as the state of mind of Ishvara or the Jnani. 6 weeks after that, he left his uncle's home in Madurai to go to the holy mountain Arunachala in Tiruvannamalai, where he was initiated to become sannyasin. And there he remained for the rest of his life. He attracted devotees regarding him as an avatar, and they came to him for darshan, meaning the sight of God. Later, people coming to him received spiritual instruction by sitting silently in his company. Since the 1930s, his teachings have been popularized in the West, and he gained worldwide recognition as an enlightened being. Ramana Maharshi approved a number of ways and practices to reach wisdom, but recommended self-inquiry as the principal means to remove ignorance, to achieve self-awareness together with bhakti, the devotion, or surrender to the self. So that were a few Hindu mystics. And before I close, I also like to speak of the wise men of today. There are lots of Hindu leaders today, but one of them, his name is Sadhguru. I watched not long ago a video here on YouTube where Sadhguru teaches us about self-management. Before managing others, he says a manager needs to manage himself. He needs to look inside of himself to become happy. You cannot reach happiness by just looking on what comes through material things. No matter how much money a person has, if you feel no true joy within yourself, you never will be satisfied. Well, how true that is. Sadhguru said that we just need to look at people and their faces in daily life, and we see that most are stressed, they hurry through each day, they feel unsatisfied because, why? Well, if you don't feel joy deep within yourself, you are not feeling good. We all know of people who go through life in a state of misery, and they alone must change it. No one can do it for you. No relationship in life can do it for you either. No other person can make you happy if you are not already happy within yourself. And lastly, Sadhguru spoke of the love of animals. That made me smile because I'm this friend of animals, and I saw myself reflect in everything he said, and it was so true. I just couldn't believe it. He used a beautiful peacock in his example, and I like birds a lot, so he got me there. He said, bring a beautiful peacock in your house and find out how much fun it is. In only a short while, you will grow tired listening to that bird making noises, and you will grow tired of cleaning up the bird's mess. How true that is. I immediately thought, having had a bird during my lifetime, not a peacock, not a peasant, but an ordinary parakeet. And boy, can they dirty up your house. There are feathers flying, there are seeds falling out of the cage, and there is a lot of squawk, squawk, or making noises too, non-stop, because these birds, They can be really loud. Now I have no bird anymore, but now I have 2 cats that I take care of, because before my sister died of cancer, she made me promise her that I would take care of her cats. My sister could have asked her 2 children, but she knew that neither her son nor her daughter would say, yes, I do it, I take care of your cats. So then she came to me, knowing very well that I would say yes. What does this tell you about me? Well, it tells you about me that there is a misunderstanding about love that I committed, because I could have said to my sister, no, I love you and I like your cats, but I don't want to do that, because guess what? I'm stuck now with those cats since 2011. We have now 2022, and only God knows how long these 2 cats keep going on and staying with me and keeping me from traveling and doing the things that I like to do. So that's the truth. And I thought that was funny when he talked about animals and people doing all kinds of things with animals. He also said, take a monkey in your house and find out how much fun that would be. Well, I can only imagine it. And to the cats, I can only say, who knows how long they stay with me, because we all know cats have 7 lives. So mercy, mercy, mercy to that. If they have 7 lives, they will stick around for much longer with me. I thought it was kind of maybe funny. I wanted to mention it. Okay, before I stop on Hinduism. Now I really finished up on Hinduism. And yeah, Hindus have great tradition of teaching all of us great things. The Hindus have, well, grasped, I think, the idea about teaching us spirituality maybe the best on the whole globe. Okay, so if you like to listen to Sadhguru, he is on the YouTube channel. You can watch him and listen to him, because he can teach all of us lots of interesting things. Okay, so that's for today, my contribution, and I come back on Monday starting Judaism. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you all a wonderful Sunday, and I see you hopefully on Monday. And thank you. Okay, bye bye.